taking a video of Draya and Jalen Green having a little fisticuffs outside walking down the street. I'm like, is Draya slow? Well, she gotta be slow. 23 and 40. You're a man. The man that's supposed to lead you is 23 years of age. It was only a matter of time before he started rebelling because she was gonna start acting like his mama anyway, because he's literally her son's age. I don't know what she was thinking this was gonna be.
Breaking news out of New York Fashion Week. What was supposed to be a glamorous night quickly turned into a scene straight out of reality TV chaos. At around 2:00 a.m., cameras and bystanders caught Draya Michelle and NBA star Jalen Green in a heated shouting match outside the Manor Hotel in Soho. Witnesses say the couple didn't just argue, they nearly came to blows. Draya, clearly furious, had to be physically restrained by friends as she tried to go after Jalen while he continued throwing sharp words her way. Onlookers described the moment as explosive and messy, with many comparing it to the toxic clashes of infamous couples like Blueface and Christian Rock. Now, the cause of the fight hasn't been confirmed, but rumors immediately began swirling online. Some speculate Jalen may have gotten a little too comfortable with another woman at the party earlier that night, sparking Draya's anger. Others blame the alcohol-fueled atmosphere. After all, at 2 a.m. during Fashion Week, with drinks flowing and tempers flaring, drama was almost inevitable. Still, what makes this incident stand out is that it wasn't just a lover's quarrel, it was a full-blown spectacle in one of the busiest nightlife spots in New York. And now the internet is buzzing with clips, memes, and questions about just how deep the cracks in their relationship really go. But this wasn't just about one fight on one night. This couple has been controversial since the very beginning, and this blow-up only added more fuel to the fire. As soon as footage of the argument hit the internet, social media erupted. Comments poured in within minutes, with fans and critics dissecting every second of the clip. Some users mocked Jalen, claiming he looked fed up with Draya's antics, while others slammed her for acting like she was ready to square up in the streets. The comparisons to Blueface and Christian Rock grew louder, with people warning that the relationship had all the hallmarks of a toxic spiral. But what happened next only fueled the speculation. Just hours after the altercation went viral, Draya Michelle jumped on Instagram to do some damage control. She posted a smiling video of herself with Jalen, looking cozy as if nothing had happened. Then, in a move many fans found shady, she uploaded a cryptic post that read, "Jet2 holidays, package holidays you can trust. If you get it, you get it." The caption left people scratching their heads, wondering if it was a subtle jab at the online chatter or a sarcastic inside joke meant to downplay the seriousness of the fight. But for most viewers, the attempt at a cover-up fell flat. Instead of calming the storm, it made people even more convinced that the couple was hiding something much deeper. Comment sections lit up with questions. Was this a genuine reconciliation or just PR damage control? Was Dari embarrassed the world saw her lose her temper? Or was she trying to protect her image and her younger NBA boyfriend's reputation? Whatever the reason, one thing was clear: the internet wasn't buying the happy couple narrative. And with their controversial history, this wasn't the first time the spotlight had turned harshly on Draya and Jalen.
I'm not mad at it. It's two grown people. If it was my son, I probably would feel away. If it was my son, I probably would feel away. You know, she's an older woman, he's a young man.
The fight might have shocked some, but for many critics, it was just another red flag in a relationship that has been questioned from the start. Draya Michelle is 40 years old, while Jalen Green is only 23, a staggering 17-year age gap that has fueled endless online debates since they first got together in 2023. To make things even more controversial, Draya has a son who is the same age as Jalen, a detail that many say makes the romance feel less like a partnership and more like a mother-son dynamic. The internet hasn't let her forget it either. Every public appearance, every post, every photo of the couple is swarmed with comments questioning what a woman in her 40s could possibly want with a 21-year-old.
Well, she gotta be slow. 23 and 40. You're a man. The man that's supposed to lead you is 23 years of age. It was only a matter of time before he started rebelling because she was gonna start acting like his mama anyway, because he's literally her son's age. I don't know what she was thinking this was gonna be.
When they first started dating, some accuse her of being a gold digger, pointing to Jalen's rising NBA stardom and multi-million-dollar contracts as the real reason for her interest. Others argue that Draya, a reality star who knows the game, as one commentator put it, simply ran circles around a young man still figuring out adulthood. But while critics drag their relationship, it's worth noting the couple isn't just casually linked. They share a 1-year-old daughter together. That alone ties them together for life, no matter how messy things get. Still, the harshest critics say the dynamic looks more like Draya guiding a younger man she can manipulate, while supporters claim age doesn't define love and that the couple should be left alone. Either way, the public scrutiny has put enormous pressure on them, and last night's fight only seemed to confirm what so many people have been whispering for months, that beneath the Instagram smiles, this relationship is far from stable. For those who have been following this couple from the beginning, last night's altercation wasn't a surprise at all. It was the boiling point of red flags that had been waving since day one. When Draya first linked up with Jalen, the internet immediately labeled it predatory, pointing out that she had the maturity, life experience, and even children older than him, while he was barely old enough to legally drink. The power imbalance was clear to many.
What do I always forget to pack in my travel?
Underwear.
What? No.
Okay, what?
I'll probably forget like some socks or like deodorant or something. I might forget my deodorant or like maybe a charger. Never underwear. That's crazy.
Okay.
Do you think I forget underwear? When have I ever did that?
And you went through that phase of yours when you had the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday underwear?
No.
It's like if you couldn't have those or if they weren't clean right away, you weren't packing none because you only wanted them. So you just didn't have them.
Draya, a seasoned reality star with years of public scrutiny under her belt, and Jalen, a rising NBA rookie, suddenly thrust into the spotlight. Add to that the whispers of Draya being a gold digger who had her sights on Jalen's multi-million-dollar contracts, and the narrative practically wrote itself. Then came the optics. Jalen often looked uncomfortable in interviews where their relationship was brought up, while Draya leaned heavily into posting curated videos and playful clips to prove they were unbothered. Critics pointed out that instead of looking like equals, their dynamic often resembled a mother guiding her teenage son, reinforcing claims that Jalen was too young to navigate such a serious relationship with someone nearly 2 decades older. And when you add jealousy, nightlife, and celebrity gossip into the mix, the cracks only widened. Many fans predicted the relationship would spiral once real challenges hit, and last night's public blow-up seems to be proof that the tension had been brewing all along.
Hey y'all, so I just want to share my quick thought on this. I don't like judging nobody because that ain't even in my character, but this is like, I don't know why I feel led to talk about this because it is what it is. Anyway, just get straight to the point. Draya, she used to be on Basketball Wives. She started dealing with this young man, young enough, could possibly be her son. Jalen's, I forgot his last name. He played basketball. All I'ma say is, when I heard about her allegedly tussling with him, and then they got videos surfacing of them tussling. Draya, you and I are around the same age. I really need you to stop because you is embarrassing the age group right now. And that's all I'm going to say on that. You is too old to be dealing with ring around the rosy games. And that's all I'm going to say on that. I mean, you be with whoever you want to be with. I'm not, like I said, I ain't in the game of judging because we all done played some treacherous games. Okay? I could write a book. Anyway, Draya, no. This ain't no good look. I'm just being 100 and honest. I ain't gonna lie. Bottom line, it just ain't no good look. And again, that's all I'm gonna say on that.
But the biggest question now is whether this was a one-off incident or if it signals a full-on collapse waiting to happen. Once the footage of Draya lunging at Jalen Green hit social media, the reaction was swift and brutal. Twitter lit up with memes comparing the couple to Blueface and Chrisean, while Instagram comment sections turned into roasting sessions about Jalen fighting 2 battles, Draya and the NBA. The age gap discourse returned in full force, with many arguing that the entire relationship had always been doomed because of the maturity mismatch. Some fans even called it karma for Jalen, claiming he ignored all the red flags when he started dating a woman old enough to be his mother. Others defended him, suggesting Draya manipulated the relationship from the beginning and that his career could suffer if he doesn't distance himself now. The timing couldn't be worse for Jalen, who is still in the early stages of cementing his NBA reputation. Teams are notoriously sensitive about off-court drama, and sponsors don't want to be tied to messy headlines involving domestic disputes. Already, sports blogs and gossip outlets are framing him less as a rising star and more as a young athlete caught in a toxic situation, which is a dangerous image to carry this early in his career. And then there's Draya, who has weathered scandal before, but may finally be reaching a breaking point with public perception. Critics argue that every viral fight chips away at her carefully maintained fashion influencer and mom brand. As the backlash grows, both their reputations hang in the balance, but for Jalen, the stakes are higher. His entire professional future could be on the line if this relationship keeps pulling him into the spotlight for the wrong reasons.
So have y'all seen the clip yet? Hey guys, it's your girl Gentray Hay, and there is a clip going around of Jalen Green and Draya having an altercation in what appears to be downtown LA. You can hear him saying that I hate you, and he's basically, trying to get away from her, and she's trying to get at him. It looks pretty intense now. Granted, people fight, so, people get into it, couples get into it. It's not, out of the ordinary. I think what people are going to be zoning in on with this particular couple is the age gap. Like, oh no, that's why this,
Beneath the headlines and viral clips, the real concern is just how toxic this relationship has reportedly become. Sources close to the couple have hinted that arguments like this aren't new, they're just rarely caught on camera. Insiders say Draya often tries to check Jalen when she feels disrespected, while Jalen, still young and headstrong, pushes back with equal fire. The age gap makes it worse. Critics argue it creates a power imbalance that fuels resentment on both sides. To some, Draya looks like the older partner trying to control a younger man's behavior. To others, Jalen appears trapped in a dynamic he isn't mature enough to manage. Then there's the jealousy factor. Rumors suggest Jalen was getting too close to another woman at the Fashion Week party, which might have triggered Draya's public blow-up. Combine alcohol, insecurity, and two strong personalities, and the result is explosive. But the damage goes far beyond a single fight. Relationship experts weighing in online point out that when arguments escalate to physical altercations, or even just the attempt, it's a sign the relationship has reached a dangerous stage. Once violence or the threat of it enters the picture, trust erodes and reconciliation becomes almost impossible.
Jalen Green and Jaya Michelle were spotted fighting in New York after a New York Fashion Week event, and it was absolutely insane. You saw Draya looking like she was trying to speed up to Jalen after he was walking ahead maybe like 10 feet. And when she almost catches up to him, you almost hear some exchange like, I'll punch the S out of you, this and that. Almost as if Jalen has no patience for Draya right now. And it makes a lot of people think, right, that no matter how pretty Draya is, she's still 40. And, no matter how much he might have liked Draya on Instagram when he was 0 years old and she was 17, right, he still is a very popular NBA player with a limited amount of options. And when you add jealousy into the mix and this and that, he probably don't want to hear that, right? He probably don't want to hear that. I'm pretty sure PJ Washington, Brittany Renner, all these age gap NBA older women relationships, I'm sure the guy likes the girl. They had a crush on them from early age. But even with all that extra liking, they still don't want to hear this crap being thrown in their face about them cheating, because they're still probably paying all the bills and they just don't want to deal with it. And as nasty as that looked, right, we don't know if that's the first time something nasty as that has happened. We don't know how toxic it is, but we know that it got toxic yesterday. And now that it's public, it might not be in Jalen's best interest to continue this. They do have a kid together. Don't really know like the ins and outs. It did seem actually though like Draya, compared to the other girls with the age gap relationships like Nikki, Maduris, and Ball, like Swerve on the corner, whoa, Jello, and all these people. It seemed like she was like the most well behaved. Like I seen Draya go to Diddy, but anybody who go to a Diddy party and then say nothing bad about them, like there's like a little bit of an air of like, I can trust this person. They keep their mouth shut. Draya seemed like out of all of them, she was the one, even though the age gap was 40 to thing, seemed like she kept her mouth shut. So I don't know. Like now I've just lost all faith in these age gap relationships. But I want to know what you guys think about it. Let me know in the comment section and follow me for more content like this.
And while Draya may try to spin things online with curated posts of them back together, the public now has receipts of how volatile things really are. For Jalen, it raises the question, can he afford to keep this going when every altercation risks his image, his endorsements, and possibly even his career? For Draya, it's about pride and survival in an industry that doesn't forgive women who look like they've lost control. One thing's clear, what happened outside that hotel might not just be another fight, it could be the beginning of the end. The most troubling part of this saga isn't the shouting match on the streets of New York, it's the fact that Draya and Jalen are now tied together for life through their 1-year-old daughter. What might have once been just a messy fling or a questionable age gap romance is now a permanent connection, and that raises the stakes for every fight they have. Family insiders have already expressed concern about the little girl being caught in the middle of a toxic back and forth. Critics argue that Draya, at 40, should know better than to drag her child into a storm of public drama, while others place the responsibility on Jalen to walk away before things get worse. Either way, their child is now at risk of becoming collateral damage in a relationship that looks less like love and more like chaos. On social media, fans have pointed out that Draya's own son is around the same age as Jalen, which only deepens the unease people feel about the situation. Imagine being a young man watching your mother fight in the streets with someone your age. It's not just embarrassing, it's psychologically damaging. And for Jalen, who's barely getting his footing as a father while juggling the NBA spotlight, the question is whether he can realistically provide stability in a situation that seems built on instability. Courts and custody lawyers are often quick to step in when public altercations happen, and if this fight escalates further, custody battles may not be far behind. What's clear now is that their daughter isn't just a baby in the background of this messy story. She's the innocent party whose future could be shaped by the decisions her parents make in the heat of these explosive moments. Beyond Draya and Jalen's personal drama, this fight has reignited a much bigger conversation about age gap relationships in the celebrity world and why so many of them seem to end in chaos. From Brittany Renner and PJ Washington to Larsa Pippen and Marcus Jordan, the pattern is familiar. Older women linking with much younger men, usually athletes who are wealthy but still navigating maturity. The public fascination with these relationships often starts as gossip, but it quickly turns into debates about power, manipulation, and whether love is even the driving factor. Critics of Draya argue that she knew exactly what she was doing when she pursued Jalen at just 21, calling it predatory and calculated. Supporters counter that age shouldn't dictate love, pointing out that plenty of older men date younger women without facing the same level of backlash. Still, the optics are hard to ignore. A 40-year-old reality star seasoned in the industry, paired with a young NBA player just entering adulthood. When fights like this happen, it only fuels the narrative that these kinds of relationships are less about genuine connection and more about clout, control, or financial gain. Social media has been ruthless, with many users mocking Jalen for falling into the trap, while questioning why Draya, a woman with her own career and history, chose to tie herself to someone barely out of college. The irony is that Draya had managed to stay relatively scandal-free for years, even when attending controversial parties or dating high-profile men. But now, at 40, she finds herself at the center of one of the messiest public sagas of her career, forcing everyone to ask, are age gap relationships in Hollywood ever built to last, or are they just ticking time bombs waiting to explode? For Jalen Green, this public altercation couldn't have come at a worse time. At just 23, he's one of the brightest young talents in the NBA, with fans and franchises expecting him to focus on basketball, not messy street drama. The league has zero tolerance for reputational scandals, especially those involving aggression, alcohol, or volatile relationships. While no arrests were made in this case, the footage of him shouting in the streets while Draya lunged at him could easily become a distraction that overshadows his game. Sponsors and brands that typically flock to rising stars might think twice before attaching their name to someone associated with public domestic chaos. On the other side, Draya Michelle's career has long thrived on her ability to balance controversy with reinvention. She's been the Basketball Wives alum who turned herself into a successful entrepreneur and influencer, but now, this storyline threatens to undo that narrative. Instead of being seen as the savvy businesswoman, she risks being cast as the messy older woman clashing with her young NBA boyfriend. Public perception matters, and in the influencer space, brand partnerships rely heavily on relatability and trust. If this drama escalates, or worse, if more violent incidents surface, both Draya and Jalen could face long-term consequences that go beyond gossip blogs. For him, it's his reputation as a professional athlete. For her, it's her credibility as a brand builder. And while they may try to smooth things over with social media posts or staged couple photos, the reality is that once a messy image takes hold in the public eye, it's hard to shake. The question now is whether they can repair the damage, or if this fight marks the beginning of the end for both their reputations.